Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be talking about my labor and delivery. I'm gonna be telling you guys my story, how everything went down, and I'm gonna try to make this story as short as possible. It's gonna be hard because my labor was really long, but I'm gonna try my best to just go to the point. So starting on November 6th, I had my doctor's appointment. I was almost 37 weeks and I went in for my weekly appointment. I was already seeing my doctor weekly. When she checked me that day for dilation, I was already at 2 centimeters dilated, and she said that as soon as she put her hand inside of me to check me, she felt the baby's head. So obviously I was a little bit freaked out, and she told me that I was probably not gonna make it to my induction. I was scheduled to be induced at 39 weeks. It was gonna be November 24th, and I chose to schedule that just in case, I was still pregnant by then, because in my gut I always knew that I was gonna have a big baby, and I just wanted to be sure, that she wasn't too big. I had some elective ultrasounds done, like 3D, 4D elective ultrasounds, and they always told me that she was measuring ahead. By my doctor's office, my due date was November 30th, and by the place that we used to go to, my due date was between the 13th and the 15th of November. So she was always measuring ahead. We even found out the gender like when I was like not even 13 weeks yet, because she was too big and they could see it. So I will always tell my doctor, like, hey, I just had a 4D ultrasound, they told me blah 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 date, and she will be like, oh no, I don't think so, your belly's measuring fine. Guys, I was huge, and she will not measure my belly at every appointment, so I don't know, like she would just eye it or something. But anyways, I just knew it. And that day she told me, like, you know what, let's do an ultrasound. She didn't want to do any more ultrasounds for me, so she was like, you know what, let's do another ultrasound your next appointment next week, just to make sure. My blood pressure was a little bit high, but I didn't have enough protein in my urine to be considered like be having preeclampsia. So she just went ahead and sent me to the hospital. Her office is in the same parking lot as the hospital where I delivered. So she just went ahead and sent me to the hospital, and they monitored me for a few hours, and my blood pressure was fine, so I was sent home. The following Wednesday, which was November the 13th, I went to my appointment again, and my doctor again checks me, and she says that I am almost at 3, that she can stretch me out to a 3. But I didn't make as much progress as I would like to, because obviously I was trying to do stuff. But there was a little issue. My blood pressure was extremely high. It was like 158 over like 100, and I had more protein in my urine. So she was like, I'm not even gonna risk it. I'm not even gonna go ahead and send you to get monitored or anything. We're having a baby today. So I was like, what? I literally freaked out. And again, 2 days after that appointment, I was gonna be 38 weeks. So I'm like freaking out. And she, like I said, my hospital was like right behind her office. So she calls the hospital. She's like, I have a patient, she's coming in. And they're like, oh no, we are backed up, so we're just gonna put her on the waiting list, and then we'll give her a call. So my doctor's like, your blood pressure is too high, I can't wait. So she just went ahead and called another hospital. Thus I'd never even been to the hospital. So she went ahead and called the hospital and sent me over there. She's like, go home, grab your stuff, and go to the hospital. So with everything being rushed, we came home. I'm like getting stuff ready. Obviously we already had our bags packed and everything. I'm taking a shower, and guys, I am bawling my eyes out in the shower. I was crying so hard, just thinking that was the last shower I was taking with my baby inside of me. And just like, I was so nervous, and I was excited, and it was just like a roller coaster that hit me in the shower, and I just cried my eyes out to the point like I was swollen and couldn't stop crying, and my husband had to come in and like try to calm me down. I came out and just kept crying. So we get there. Once I get to register, the lady's like, oh, we don't take your insurance here. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, we don't take your insurance here. I don't know what's going on. So she called my doctor, and then the doctor was like, oh my god, they didn't check that for her. They said everything was fine. Just go ahead and tell her to go home, and then I'll call Centennial, which is the other hospital where I deliver. So I was so upset. You know, God's plan, I just kept thinking, you know what, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know why God decided that this wasn't gonna be it, but I'm okay with that. Whatever, this happened for a reason, so I don't know what the reason is, but I'm sure that it's in God's plan. So we just went ahead and left, and Centennial called me, and they're like, we're backed up, just go ahead and go home, we'll call you. So we came home, and then we just went ahead and went to bed, and obviously I couldn't sleep. By the time I was able to sleep, it was like 2 a.m. I was so nervous, and I got a call by 4 a.m. So at 4 a.m. they called me. We get up, get ready again. I took a little shower again, but this time I'm calm. I'm just calm. I'm like, I don't know, like it was a different, I don't know if it was because I already had went through everything, but I was just calm. Like I was more, like I knew this time we were staying and everything, you know, this time, next time we came home, we were gonna come home with a baby. So we leave, it's already November the 14th. So everybody's still like, oh, you might be wrong, she still might come in today. And I'm like, still don't feel the 14th. So we get there, and they just go ahead and like set me up really quick. I got checked by like 3 nurses, and then one said I was a 2, one said I was almost a 2, and then she said that I wasn't even dilated. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna go by my doctor, you know, because I don't understand. So they hooked me up, started Pitocin right in, and then they were checking me like every 2 hours. By 8 a.m., I think it was 9 a.m., I was in a lot of pain, like a lot of pain, because I was having a back labor. So I was in a lot of pain. My baby was sunny side up. So when 1/7 hit, I got a really nice nurse, and she explained like to me like how she thought that my baby was sunny side up because I was having a back labor, and obviously they're supposed to be facing down so they can come out. So I was in a lot of pain. Like it literally felt like I was just laying down on the concrete and a truck was like going over me over and over. It was really bad. So I was like, you know what, I don't care how early can I get the epidural, and they're like, you can get it right away. So my doctor came in and she's like, you know what, it's even better that you're getting the epidural, because that way maybe you can relax and you can dilate faster. So she put in the balloon, I think that's what it's called, this thing that they put inside of you, and then she like puts air in it, so it's like literally like a balloon inside of you. And then once this thing pops or it comes out on its own, it means that you're at 5 to 6 centimeters dilated. So she put that in, they came in, gave me the epidural, and I was so scared of the epidural. My husband was sitting next to me, and I had my nurse like grabbing me. My husband was grabbing my feet because he couldn't be close to me enough like to grab my hands. The nurse had to have me like this, so pushing on my shoulders down. I was so nervous. I was crying the whole time. You guys, I didn't feel anything. Like I just felt obviously like the first one, but again, it's just like numbing the area where he's gonna do the big needle, and I didn't feel anything after that. I just felt like really cold stuff coming all the way through my back, but it was actually didn't feel bad. And I'm like, oh my god, once he's done, I'm like, are you done? And he's like, yeah, I'm done. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And my husband, poor thing, he just kept looking at me so scared for me because he knew how scared I was of this. Like this was the second thing I was scared of after the IV, and the IV hurt more than the epidural, I swear. Never thought I would say that. Once I got my epidural, I lay back, and oh my god, it was heavenly. I was feeling so good, and you know, everything was fine. Like half an hour later, another nurse comes in, and they're like, oh, it fell off. So the balloon fell off, and they were gonna do another monitor, but like, you know how they do the ones that are wrapped up around your belly. So by then I was gonna have one that was inside of me. And then when my doctor tried to put that in, my water broke. Like, she was already gonna break it, but like as soon as she put something for the monitor in, my water broke. So I was already at a 5 centimeters for sure, and at least a 5 by everyone, by all the nurses, by my doctor, by all the different opinions. I was already at a 5 because of the balloon, because it fell off. So that was a for sure thing. So this nurse, that's really nice, she checks me again, and she's like, I can't find her cervix. Like, I feel like it's that way. Like, she kept, when she would go like this, she had to go like that, and she's like, yeah, it feels like it's that way. And then I will try to post a picture right here. My baby, like, she will always get on one side of my belly. And when I was on my whole labor, every time I had a contraction, I don't know if it would scare her or what, like, she would get on that side of my belly, and like my belly was like flat right here, and then I had a big lump right here, and that's where she was. So that's where she said that my cervix was, like, the opening of my cervix was. So she's like, I don't know, I don't want to scare you, but I hope, like, you know, maybe as she moves down, like, things will get better. And they didn't. So I kept getting checked. I was just dilating like half centimeters every 2 hours, and then I got stuck at like 6 or 7. And every time, nurses wouldn't be sure how much I was dilated, so they will call another nurse, and they would be like, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. So literally, night came around, and my doctor had to leave. And then she was like, you know what, I'm gonna be at home, but as soon as you hit 9-10, like, I'll come back, blah blah blah. And she's like, if by 9 p.m. you are not at 10, I want you to tell me if you want to have a C-section. Like, no, she said, if by 7 p.m. you're not at 10, I want you to tell me if you want to have a C-section or not. If not, by 9 p.m. We will have a C-section no matter what. So the reason because of this was because I had to keep getting epidural. I have to keep asking for it like every 2 hours. Every time I will get it, I will be like laying on my back. And then they had to do the peanut thing, the peanut ball, whatever it's called, between my legs. This huge thing that's shaped like a peanut, and it's supposed to help you dilate. That was the only thing that got me out of that, where I was stuck. That was the only thing that got me out of that. But it was literally like half centimeters every time. So they put it on, tilt me to the one of the sides, and then check in another hour, and then put me on the other side. Once they will put me on my left side, my epidural will wear off. Like, I will feel everything every time they put me on my left side. So, and that was the only way I was dilating, going like this with the huge peanut thing between my legs. I couldn't have water. I was just having ice chips. It was horrible. I took gum with me. Definitely recommend this. I didn't even ask if I could, but I was chewing gum the whole time. Like, I did this because when I'm like dieting, for me to like calm down my hunger and stuff, I always try to chew gum because it just like calms down my anxiety and my hunger and appetite, you know, and everything. So it like helps me until whatever time again I'm gonna eat. So I just took gum with me, and thank God I did that. I didn't even ask if I could have any. I was just chewing gum. I mean, I'm not swallowing it, it's just gum. So I didn't think it was gonna have any issues. I didn't have any issues with it. So thank God I did that. I took gum with me, and then I was having ice chips. One of the nurses was like, you can drink the water that's, you know, melting from the ice, but I cannot give you any more water. Oh my God, every time some water was like melted already, it was like heaven to me. It was horrible. It was just the worst 25 hours of my life. My brother was there, my mom was there, my best friend was there, and obviously my husband was there. I had my sister calling from Spain. My dad was back in Dominican Republic. I had people like all over the world just worried about me. And I was so out of it because of how much epidural and how much anesthesia I already had. It was bad. I just like, as the hours passed by, I just kept feeling weaker and weaker. and it was like bad pain, back pain. And I'm not talking about contractions, because this is pain that wouldn't leave. Like the back pain will not leave my body, the contractions would, and the contractions will start in the back and then come to the front and then stay for a little bit and leave. The back pain will stay throughout the whole thing and wouldn't leave. So it was just the worst thing that I have ever gone through. I was so scared for a C-section that I was just praying to God that by 7, when my doctor came back or the nurse came back to check me, I was already at a 10 and ready to push. But once again, they kept telling me, if you feel the urge to push, whatever, give us a call, because they didn't want to check me so much because of an infection. I had already had my water broken for over like 14 hours. So it was just bad. Then I had a fever. So I started having a fever and I started getting the chills. I could not stop shaking. Once my husband saw me like this, he lost it. He just like started crying, bawling his eyes out. Mind you that I have never seen my husband cry like that. Never in my life. He's a really strong person. He's the strong one between us. Like, he's the tough one. He started bawling his eyes out. Same thing with my mom and my dad. My dad is like the weak one. I'm just like my dad. My mom is the strong one. She started crying too. My husband went and like shut the door and in the bathroom, and I could just hear him sobbing, like crying. And I just like, it like hurt me to see them. They were crying because of me, and like I just couldn't take it. Like I was like, oh my God, please let me just be at a 10. I wasn't even worried about the fever or anything. I was just worried about the baby and them crying and like being hurt, and you know, because they see me like that, and being sad because they see me like that. So he comes back and I'm just hugging him and I'm just like, please stop crying, please don't cry. And at the same time, like, my labor was really hard, but it was like the worst thing that I could have gone through. But at the same time, obviously it was the best thing because my baby came out of that, and me and my husband got so close, and it was at the same time like a beautiful moment, you know. My friend, like, I didn't want pictures. I wanted to blog this whole thing. My plan was to blog. I even started blogging when we got to the other hospital, but obviously I couldn't blog. I was so out of it, I couldn't. So my friend legit was just taking like pictures of me throughout the whole thing. I'm gonna insert everything at the end. So oh my God. So 7 comes in, doctor comes in. I finally dilated to an 8.5. So the doctor is like, you know what, you're already at 8.5. I don't even remember if that was the doctor or the nurse. I honestly don't remember. So they're like, you know what, you can choose to like maybe wait until 9, see if you can dilate to a 10. You're finally dilating. So I'm like, you know what, let's wait until 9 p.m. Once again, the anesthesiologist comes in, gives me another dose. By this time, it was not even epidural anymore. It was something else. I don't even know what the heck he was giving me, because he couldn't give me any more epidural. So it was something else, and everybody just feels so bad for me because of how much pain I'm in. Literally, I was screaming in so much pain. Like, it was so bad. I never thought it would be that bad. And once again, if it was just the contractions, probably I would have been able to handle it. But like the thing was, contractions come and go. This pain was not leaving, and on top of that, I had the contractions. So when she leaves, and then by 9 p.m. She comes in, and I'm like, my husband and I talk about it. He's like, let's just do the C-section, please. Let's do the C-section. I can't take this anymore. I can't see you like this anymore. My mom is telling me the same thing, like, your water has been broken since like 9 a.m. Let's just do the C-section. So I was like, you know what, when they come in again, I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna do the C-section. I was so nervous. I was so scared for a C-section. That was the last thing I wanted. That's why it took me so long to make that decision. So mind you that when I went to my appointment. I totally forgot that to say that. When I went to my appointment and they did, my blood pressure was high. The other thing that my doctor was like, you know what, let's have a baby today, was because I had an ultrasound that day as well. And my baby measured 8 pounds, 14 ounces. So my baby measured 8 pounds, 14 ounces, and she looked huge in there. So the doctor was like, she's already a big baby, so let's just have a baby, you know? So I know those measurements can be off, but that's what happened. So 9 comes in, nurse comes in, and then I tell the nurse, she checks me, and she's like, oh no, you are still at an 8.5. So I'm like, you know what, we'll just have a C-section. So then she calls my doctor, and then I don't know what happened with my doctor, but she had to transfer me, or another doctor had to take over. But it wasn't the doctor that was on call. The doctor was at the hospital. It was another doctor that had to come in. So they call the doctor, and that doctor is like, oh, let's just wait until she's full term. Let's just wait until a few more hours. I'm already like 100% sure that I want a C-section. I'm already asking for it, and then now my doctor can't come in and do it, so another doctor, and she wants me to wait even longer. Like, my brother, my mom, and my husband, like, were about to lose it. Like, oh my god. I think they kept it together because of how bad I looked. I looked horrible. It was bad. Like, I started changing colors. I was already getting antibiotics and some other stuff through my IV because of my fever and everything, and this doctor still wants me to wait. So the whole thing was that I already had a fever. I was having an infection. When you have a fever, it's because you have an infection. So my baby's in there, I'm having an infection, I'm having a fever, I can't dilate. I've been here since like 5 a.m. in the morning with Pitocin. I have already reached like maxed out the 20 that they can go up to. And I've had the balloon, I've had the peanut thing, and nothing is working. Let's just have a baby. So nope, they didn't do it. So this thing kept happening, like. And then the other thing that was very like worrying was that I kept having to get more anesthesia. So everybody was worried that I was like gonna pass out. I was turning yellow, like, and then again, no food, no water, just ice chips and gum. So it was like 4 a.m. and it was like, I'm gonna say like 3 a.m., 3 something. They come back and check me, and I'm at a 10. It was like 3 a.m. yeah. So this nurse was amazing, by the way. I freaking loved her. She was the one that got quick. Like, she was the one that brought the peanut thing. She was the one that got things moving. I feel like if the shift hadn't had changed, like, I went through 3 shifts. So if it hadn't had changed, like, I probably was gonna be stuck forever. She checked me, and she like was actually, when I got her, the nurse before her said I was already at a 6.5, and she's like, you're still at a 6. So she like knew right away how to find the cervix. All the other ones were like, weren't sure. So I think that was the reason why I was having so many different opinions, because of how it was set up. She actually like took over, and she's like, okay, you're already at a 10. I'm gonna give you, she's like, do you have the urge to push? I didn't feel anything different from what I've had felt like the past hour, besides more pain. My contractions were a lot closer. They were like a minute to 2 minutes apart. They were super, super bad. And they're like, oh, you're just gonna feel pressure. I was just feeling pain, lots of pain, and I didn't have the urge to push. So she gave me like half an hour, and I still don't have the urge to push. So I just call her back, and I'm like, can I just try? Like, can we just do something? Because I can't take it anymore. So she's like, okay, let's push. So we pushed for a whole hour, and nothing happened. Like, she kept feeling my baby like try to go and do this while I was pushing, but once I will finish pushing, it will go back up. So again, this was me not having any urge to push. So I didn't feel that I went through everything in natural labor, but that part. So We pushed for a whole hour, and then baby's heartbeat started getting a little bit low. So she's like, we can't do this anymore. We have to have a C-section. I don't know. I know she saw something else. She didn't tell me, but she saw something else. And we go ahead. She then calls the doctor that I was supposed to do my C-section, because still my doctor can't come. So this doctor comes in, like, by the time that they prepare me and my husband got ready in his suit and everything, the doctor was already there. So, like, everything is moving so fast that I'm just laying there, like, just get it over with. I wasn't scared anymore. I just wanted to get it over with. I was so tired. I was so weak. It was the worst feeling in my life. So by then, I was sure my baby, no matter what I tried, she wasn't gonna come out through my vagina. And then if I tried, something bad was gonna happen. So I was like, you know what? Again, this is God's plan. This is what He wanted, and it's for the best. So they take me in, rush me into the room where they're gonna do the emergency C-section. They like grab me with a freaking sheet between all of them. And mind you, I'm a heavy person, and I was really heavy when I was pregnant. So I'm like scared for my life that they're gonna drop me. And they're like, oh no, sweetie, we're not gonna drop you. So they just grab me, pull me on the other bed. And then I have the same guy that did my epidural, that was doing all the epidural. He was the one there. He didn't leave my side once. He was just like right behind me, asking me how I'm doing. He had to keep giving me different stuff because I kept feeling stuff on my left side. I don't know what was with my left side. This is the same thing that kept making my epidural wear off. So once they're cutting me, I can feel it on my left side. Once she got to the middle and moved to the right, I didn't feel anything, but just like I knew she was cutting me. I knew what she was doing, but I wasn't painful. So I'm telling him that, and he's like, okay, I'm so sorry, but because of everything that I have given you already, and you are so weak, like I will have to just put you to sleep, and I don't want you to miss that, mama. I don't want you to miss the birth of your baby. So I'm like, you know what? Don't put me to sleep. I'll handle it. So I kept feeling how the doctor was like pulling on my baby, and the baby wouldn't come out. So it took her and another person like pulling and pulling and pulling until my baby finally came out, and I heard her cry. And it was the most beautiful thing I have ever heard in my life. She came out a little bit bruised. She was stuck on the birth canal, so there was no way she was gonna come out. She was sunny side up. So, and then she was like this. So she was not straight. She was like this. So that was the reason why everything happened. And she wasn't gonna come out through my vagina. And if we tried more, she probably was going to after a few long hours of pushing. But probably we were gonna have to be assisted and do the vacuum or something else, or like rip me right there, and which was gonna be way worse for me and obviously way dangerous for her. So I am so glad things happened. Like I said, the whole time I was just like, things happen for a reason. I'm having a C-section, and I'll understand shortly why I did. So I did understand. Once she came out, I just kept hearing her cry. So they took her, and then I'm like telling my babe, like, babe, go see her, take pictures, because they're cleaning her. They hadn't bring her to me yet. There was some blood and stuff, so they were cleaning her and stuff, and she was bruised, and so they had to make sure she was okay. So I'm like, take pictures and let me see her. And it was the most beautiful moment of my life. She kept crying, and I'm like, has she opened her eyes? And she hadn't opened her eyes. Once they brought her to me, and she's just crying, and then they put her right here, right next to my face, and I talked to her. She calms down and opens her eyes. And oh my god, it was just amazing. I will be posting pictures again at the end of the video of everything. It was just beautiful. They then let her be with me for like a minute, and they had to obviously do everything, close me up, clean me, finish taking stuff out. It was just really hard for them to take stuff out. Like, they just kept going like this. Like, literally, this was the doctor taking everything out. I don't know why. My husband went with the nurse and the baby, so they went back to the room where I was supposed to deliver, and I stayed there by myself. I thought it was like for 10 minutes. My husband said I was there for like 30 to 40 minutes after that, but honestly, to me, it was like 10 minutes, which I'm surprised, because obviously I wanted to get out of there and see my baby. Hold on, I think she's crying. I get to the room, and they right away put her on my chest. It was amazing. The most beautiful moment of my life. I would not trade that for anything. Everything at that point was worth it, but I will go through all of that again for her. And yeah, things got pretty crazy after that. We had to stay for a few days, extra days. My baby had to be in the NICU, but that's another story. And again, I had an infection, so that is another story that I don't want to include in this video because this video is already long enough. But if you guys want to hear that story, I can make another video talking about after my C-section and the first 24 to 48 hours, because it got pretty crazy to me. Like, things didn't stop there. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, by the way, I had her on November 15th. November 15th at 5:42 a.m. She was actually 8 pounds and 11 ounces, so she was really close to the measurements that my ultrasound gave. So it was only like 4 ounces off, so that was amazing. She was a big baby. I'm gonna end this video here. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please leave them down below. Sorry for the long video, guys, but again, that was a really long labor. We are completely fine now. Thank God my baby's healthy, beautiful, big baby girl, and I'm just enjoying my mom life. So yeah, I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.